Okay, so this is going to be a tutorial on how to do a more advanced hang castle from what the beginning tutorial has. First, I'm going to just do a run of it, and then we'll go through each section. Okay, so as you can see, that's probably a lot faster than what you're used to doing. So we're going to go through each section here and kind of show you what you should do. And you can basically get a 40 or sub 40. So starting from the beginning, we get this rocket excel here. So when you're falling down here, you're actually actionable as you're falling. Like as this loads in here, like I can hold left, right, back, whatever. But if you just hold forward here and try and double rocket excel, you can get through, but sometimes you might hit into the ghost. So what I like to do is I wait until I'm about like here, and then I start holding forward. And by forward, I'm talking upright. I guess I should be more clear. The direction of the thing here based on the camera angle. You don't want to hold directly up, otherwise you'll go slightly diagonal. I guess in chaotics you do, but in rows here, you want to hold like this direction. If that makes sense. So hold this, and then keep moving. Okay. And obviously you don't want to hit into the wall or anything as well. Basically, you're trying to avoid this ghost. Okay, so once you've done that, we're rolling down this slope here. So I'm just pause rolling really quick. I've talked about that before in other tutorials. You're basically rolling, press B to let go of roll, and then keep moving. In this case, I think you could probably just hold roll, but I pause roll anyway. So hold the direction. And then here again, I'm doing the same thing on the speed pad. So I'm holding roll on the speed pad, letting it give me that speed. I'm letting go of B, pause to let go. Yeah, I'm letting go of B in the pause menu. Sorry if that's not clear. I'm assuming if you've gotten to this point, you know that, but I'll be a little bit more specific in case you came here first. I'm letting go of B in the pause to not get Amy's hammer to occur. And that is giving me the speed, because when we roll on slopes, it gives us an increased speed, as well as if we roll over speed pads. So right here, there's a speed pad. I know you can't see it because this is blocking it, but I'm rolling here. I'm letting go of B so I don't pull hammer. And then as I'm coming down here, I switch to flight. So I just double pressed X, right? You don't want to instantly switch in these situations. So I double pressed X here, and now I'm going to hit into the spring. I'm actually going to save a state here. So we can kind of show this next part. So as you can see, I come up here as flight, and then I land. But we can actually save a little bit of time here by activating flight here. Drops us quicker, right? So that's why we want to take this as flight and not another formation, because we can activate flight instantly off the spring and then be ready for the next thing. So I'm taking this as flight, activate here. I shouldn't switch yet. And we land. Okay. So right when we land, we're going to switch to big, because the next thing we're going to do is clip through this door using a roll clip. Okay. So right here, activate flight, switch to big. Okay, I'm going to save a state here. Oops, I hit load state, skull emoji. Also, this is actually a good thing to point out. You want to try and get in the middle of the spring just to make it easier for yourself. If you go to the right, you can hit that fire on the torch and it'll knock Amy out. And we're not trying to do a bot boost or anything here. So be careful not to like do some shit like that. Or yeah, so if you can miss the spring and just bounce like this. And it's kind of weird. This is also kind of a funny state. But yeah, so basically you want to try and get this as close to center as possible. It doesn't need to be perfect by any means. Just something that's good enough. Okay. Like this will do. Okay, now I'm going to save state. So, we're going to roll clip through this door, okay? Up to this point, you've probably learned the OG method of, I believe it's like double rocket excel and then trying to, you know, do the thing, but you got to kill these guys if you don't get it. And it's not really consistent. So, what we do is a roll clip. So, what is a roll clip? A roll clip is basically with enough speed, we can get through the collision of the door by rolling. In this game, when you roll, it makes your hitbox smaller, or your hurt box smaller, and that gives you enough smallness to basically clip through the door if you have that speed requirement, okay? So how do we do that? Well, up to this point, I was explaining the reason we come down with flight here is because we want to switch to big and get cream on our left side, or our right side, like this, okay? If you notice, when you switch to big from cream, they will kind of push you back a little bit. You can walk forward here, and then that won't happen, and they're still next to you, and still she'll still show up. So why does it matter if cream shows up? Well, if you notice right now with them to my left and right, when I do a ground excel here, cream is with me. And this is really important because we need cream to rocket excel us through the door, right? So like that, okay? And that's how we get through the door. So what I'm doing here is I'm gonna ground excel and then single rocket excel, and the timing is very precise. You'll probably watch this video a lot. Pay attention to my input display as to how I do this. So obviously I'm ground excelling, holding forward the whole time, and I need to call Amy to, or cream to me, right? So basically, boom, boom, right? So I'm holding B here to call cream to me, and then I need to press B again at the right time to kind of shoot through the door. It's really hard to do while mid-pause here. Like this. So boom, boom, and you can go through the door. I like to think of it as like a 1-2. So B, B, hold B at the right time, you can get through this door. So the reason that's happening is because not only am I getting the rocket excel of cream, I'm also getting the roll input with enough with so little time in between that it's counting as 2. There's other situations where it can be a little bit different, but in this case, that's what's happening. So here again, I know I'm making this look very easy. Trust me, it's going to take a while to get the timing down, but I believe that you can do it. So I'm just going to show you here just a clean one without pausing or anything, and you can use that as a reference point. So like that. And like I was saying, it's really important to note that you want to hold B through the door. If you let go of B while you're going through a door, sometimes it can pull you back and you won't make it through, even though you did do the time correct and you started to clip through. We need to hold B because, like I was saying earlier, our hitbox or our hurt box is really small. And so that's what's actually allowing us to get through that collision, if that makes sense. So once you get that, and so I guess we can talk about what does it look like when you mess up, right? So if you're getting hammer, it means you're letting go of B. You're not holding B, right? You need to make sure you're holding B through the door. If you're getting no roll, even though you're holding B, it means you're late on your rocket excel. Okay? You need to hold B. So you need to rocket excel and then hold B from that rocket excel at the precise timing. The way I like to think about the timing is basically tile-wise. Where would that be here? Let me kill these guys. Basically, I'm kind of initiating it like right here. So it's very close to the door. You can look back at my timings to kind of figure out exactly where. But it's just going to take a while to get down. It's, you know, obviously it's one of those things where if you miss it the first time, you're going to have to come back here, and then the enemies generally will spawn. Sometimes they don't. Here they did, right? So then you have to remember that that can be something to get in the way. So if you mess up, it might just be worth hitting these guys. I guess don't belly flop them. Might be worth hitting them and then trying to do it again instead of trying to save the time. Just because, like I said, it's going to be hard at first. Okay. But eventually you'll get it down like this, and then you can keep moving to the next section. Okay, so the next section is coming up here on this castle wall. Okay. So how do we do that? There's a couple different methods you can do going through the door. I'm just going to show you the one that I do that works for me, and you can figure out if it helps or not. So when I go through the door here, as I just showed, I actually loop around the little tree while holding B. So when I gotta get through the door like this. So I'm holding B, looping around this door to set up for the rocket excel up the staircase. We need to have enough speed up the staircase to make the jump required to get onto the castle wall. So if you're too low like this, you can't make it up, and then you need to either do emergency flight or fall down and then do the rest, you know, the slow route, which this loses time. So we generally try to avoid messing up there, right? So we're looping, and we are basically trying to angle ourselves. The reason we're looping is because we have so much speed coming fast, by the way, that we need something to slow us down without moving too far forward, because we need to be able to get enough time for our teammate to show up to do the rocket excel again, if that makes sense. So we do this loop to kind of align ourselves, and we want to be doing this as straight as possible. The wizard over here is going to spawn in a different spot every time, which can be annoying, and you will need to adjust while doing the loop. But don't worry about that right now. Just accept that that's a reality, and once you get this trick down, you can learn how to adjust to that. But yeah, so here we get the rocket excel, and then we need to switch to flight and jump. So similar to Lost Jungle, how we do the jump on the slope to get enough height, it's the same situation here, okay? So I double switched, and I want to be jumping right before the stairs end. So here I actually hit into the wizard. This is an example of it being successful. Okay. So that was a really tight circle, and you can kind of see here, if you get a good enough jump and hold A, you get here like with plenty of space. So I will say this did take me a very long time to get down when I was learning it. Just grind it out. It's going to be hard at first, learning how to handle with this much speed. But I believe in you. Yeah, Joey makes a good point. You want to hold A the whole time and only activate flight at the arc of your jump, right? If you think about it as a parabola, right at the top is when you want to activate it. Just so you make sure you have enough space. Like this, okay? So now the next part is this zip here. Let me see if I can get a state saved that works. This is going to be awkward because I need to pause. I don't know if this is going to work. I'll see. Okay, it did work. It was just a little slow. So, right, we're rocket excelling here, and then we're going to double switch to cream, and then we're jumping, and we're going to to basically max height, or about max height. Basically, what we're trying to do, if you want to do the zip, I would not recommend going for this until you get this section down, by the way, because this is precise, and if you're off, you might miss clearing the castle wall and falling and losing a lot of time. But once you're comfortable enough, that was weird. I went diagonal. You want to get just to the right height of the wall, and you can do a zip. If you don't know what a zip is, you just saw it right there, but essentially you can align yourself at the right height. Usually in this case it's right at Cream's feet, and if you thunder shoot while holding forward, it'll give you that momentum. So that was a little high. There was a small example. Yeah, I mean, obviously I'm not used to setting up a zip like that. And so basically, like I was saying, it's going to come down to, can you activate flight at the right height? This should be about the right height. The way to think about it is, are Cream's shoes going to be aligned with the top of the slope? That's kind of where you're going to get a giga zip. Okay. And then we're going to be, when we get the zip, we're kind of already holding diagonal here. And we're going around this torch and this stuff, and we want to hold jump through that. So you're going to get a lot of height, and you need to basically hold jump. And then we're going to land on the top part. The peak of your jump should always give you the correct height. Oops. Wrong state. So, it's such a weird... I'm not used to doing this all out of the pause here. So forgive me for being a little bad. Oh, I'm surprised that didn't give it to me. Yeah, so then we're holding jump here, and as you can kind of see, you have to do a weird, like, right to left. But you're holding jump, so it's fine. And then you activate flight. And then you want to land as big and just ground excel and keep moving. So sometimes you might go a little high, and then you can't get a zip, and you just got to kind of go. You'll kind of learn as you go along and kind of figure out the timings for everything, how to adjust to every specific scenario. But basically just getting this motion down is really big. No pun intended. So also one thing to note here, so when you land here, you can land on this little ledge, and then as you walk off, if you walk off the ledge as big, you can insta belly flop and save the time it would normally take to jump and belly flop. See if I can, like that. So it's a very quick input because there's very little time. So we're ground excelling, right? And then we're ground excelling. Okay, so for this next section, the tutorial does not teach this. You've probably learned it at this point, but if you haven't, it's fine. I'll show you right now. So in the tutorial, you're told to come down this way, right? And I believe it's like you jump here and then take this ramp over, and then you fall here, and then you keep going. It's gonna shoot you, and then you fall down here and you keep going, right? All that works, it's just really slow. So what we do is we skip that whole section. Basically, you can jump off right here like this, and as long as you're holding the direction, you can land on that orb that we were just in. Now, as you could kind of see there, I did not give myself a good angle, and it can be really difficult to actually see where you are. you'll kind of learn as you're jumping like how to do a good one. But basically, if you can see the orb here, you're just adjusting for that. So either you're holding forward most of the time, but if you're overshooting, you can let go of holding forward just for a moment, go back to neutral, and then hold forward. But the goal is to land in the orb as cream, okay, specifically. So, wow, that was a weird one. Okay. So let me show that again here. And if you're doing the fast stuff here, again, we're doing this from a ground excel. Even if you don't get this little one here, say you just land here, you can still ground excel, jump, adjust camera, and keep going. Okay. So as you see, if I'm just holding forward the whole time, I'm actually overshooting, which is what I was saying earlier, where like you do need to adjust based on your spot to hold forward or not. And basically you don't hold back, you just let go of holding forward for a second. Okay, so when we go through the orb, we want to hold a specific angle, okay? The reason for that, let me show you here, is if you just go through this orb as flight, so if I just go through the orb as flight like this, I'm going to go all the way up here, take the upside down ramp, wait all this time, and then I can be on my merry way, right? That's slow. So what we can do to speed that up is, as I'm jumping here. Also, one thing is, as you can kind of see when I was going around that pole, the camera's turning a little bit. So I press L to adjust, and a lot of times that helps me see the orb below right here. Okay, so save state. Although I might be a little bit here. Let me just make sure I'm in a good spot. I wasn't sure about that one because I was pausing. Okay. Save state. So what we do is when you're in the orb, you want to hold down right. Okay. If you're using a GameCube controller, down right on the notch. Basically once you're in the orb, right, you're not actionable as it's transporting you. So you hold down right here. And the reason for that is if you hold down right, so holding down right, you now skip the part where you go up to the ramp and it shoots you upside down. Now you're just going directly where you want to go. Okay. But the thing is, here, let me. So now you need to activate flight and turn your camera. Okay. So I'm holding down right this whole time. Still holding down right. You want to activate flight, and if you do it too late, you see I'm underneath where I need to be, and now I'm in a terrible spot, and I gotta like find a way to get back to where I need to go and shit, right? So, I would have to like go up here and jump off this way. So this is very important. You want to hold right, but you need to activate flight. You don't want to activate flight instantly. Down right, not right. If you activate it too early, you can get there, but you're really high and you're going to run on meter fast. So what I like to do is kind of wait just a moment and then start. And you can thunder shoot to make sure your meter gives you enough distance, right? Like this. And then you can be on your way. The goal here is to land. So activate flight, thunder shoot. You want to land as big because we're going to do an insta big to cream switch to get the speed, right, to start up our speed on the rail. So like this. And that's kind of the goal. So through the thing, down right, activate flight, thunder shoot, land as big, and keep moving. Now for this section, we're going to jump off the rail here and get to the goal ring, right? So we want to double switch, okay, from what was it? From Amy to Cream. And basically, how do I explain this? we want to jump early. Like, you don't want to jump too early, but it's actually kind of nice to have, like, glitch gravity. But the issue is if you don't break this glitch gravity, you can be in a dangerous spot. So, we want to get a rail jump here. We don't want to get a rail switch, if you will. Right, so the way you do that, right, is the way your inputs work, you don't want to either be holding a direction. You can just jump off normally if you want. Make sure to not hit this the fires. Remember earlier we were talking about the fires are active. Also, you can't really come back here, so basically I do it on, I'm holding the as the rail curves, I'm kind of holding the direction of that rail as I'm jumping to make sure I'm jumping straight. But you can figure out what works for you. Basically, you just want to jump off right about here-ish. And so what's going to happen often is you're going to have glitch gravity. So if you look right now, my guys aren't straight up. They're at an angle. And if you don't break glitch gravity, you'll be locked into it. So the way you can break glitch gravity in this game is just press back really quick or do like a half circle. I'm just going to press back. And so now you see how they're straight up and down. And now I can float over here, although I'm a little bit far, but okay, I should still be good. Hopefully that explains it a little bit better. But yeah, so basically our goal is switch here, activate, break glitch gravity if we have it, and now we're gonna fall down to this area over here. And I like going here on the right side. You can come around and come from the back. It doesn't really matter. It's just preference. You're not really losing time going around the back side because we need to fall anyway. But basically you want to make sure you're coming up into the goal ring. Again, avoiding torches. If you hit a torch, it will hit you and it might throw your chance of completing the level. So you want to come up, but as you can kind of see, there's a pretty quick timing from once you clear underneath to go up into the goal ring. But yeah, so that's kind of the final step here is, you know, you break it, you come down, and you go and finish the level. You don't have to do this as Cream. Technically, if you want to be a Giga Chad, you can do it as Amy with a jump here and then homing attack, but I would not try this because the timing is very difficult and it saves it saves very little. It's probably not worth it, but it's also based because I never do that and I got first try. But yeah, basically just take it as Cream, at least until you're very good at this game, and you'll be on your merry way. And if you did all that, you have done Hang Castle fast. Ideally, you're getting around like a 40-ish, probably. It's probably going to be like more close to like 45 at the beginning, but you can whittle it down and get sub 40 on Hang Castle.